numbers, the Bills are slightly better than the Browns in pretty much every category, especially on the defensive side of the football. And I think the Browns, without being a better rounded team, are going to struggle in that sense. The best Browns player to play is clearly going to be Josh Gordon. You got him. You keep him active. Look at Isaiah Crowell as a low RB2. This is not going to be the easiest game on earth for him, but I know he's a player difficult to bench, and if you can't fit him in as an RB2, you're probably going to flex him. For the Bills, I actually like this game for Fred Jackson. You've got a Browns team that pretty much gives up 1 TD per game, as well as 135 rushing yards per game. So look for Freddie Jacks to do you some good. Look at him as an RB2. Sammy Watkins, he's a wide receiver 3. There's no question about it. He's going to pull the best coverage that the Browns have to offer. But the reality is it's their first time out. And Sammy Watkins has done some pretty good things against top cornerbacks the first time out. Browns, Bills, DSTs, they're low-end options this week. And other than that, Keith, I like the Bills at home, 20-17. Hopefully they've dug out and everything's all good.
585-633-7487 if you want to call in with your personal lineup questions and pick Jim's brain. 585-633-7487. The next game up is the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. The Titans are a team in transition, to say the least. Yes, I know they changed head coaches in the offseason, so it's not really breaking news to call them that. But now they've also changed quarterbacks, and it is Zach Mettenberger's team. He did play better, I thought, last week. But the Houston Texans, Ryan Mallett is reportedly doubtful with a pectoral injury, so that might mean a return to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh dear Lord, Fitztragic. The Titans at the end of the day just don't have enough. They don't have enough on defense. And I'm trying to see if Arian Foster is also listed as questionable. Alfred Blue might be able to exploit this worst ranked rush defense that the Titans have. At home, I am going to take the Texans.
Yeah, Keith, I'm all on that ship. Look, that Titans rush defense is god-awful. Worst in the league, giving up 145 yards per game. Also, 13 TDs to date. So what's that? Slightly better than 1 per game. Look, if Arian Foster starts, start him. Alfred Blue starts, start him. One of these two guys is going to have an incredibly good weekend, and whoever it is, if you have him on your team, hopefully you have Arian Foster handcuffed with Alfred Blue, you should be able to come out golden in this, okay? Texans defense, they are a must-start against the rookie Zach Mettenberger. He's going to make enough mistakes and do enough things to make it worthwhile, and I could even see the Texans returning fumble, interception for a TD. For the Titans, I like Zach Mettenberger. Look, the Texans give up roughly 273 yards and 2 TDs per game. All the reason to believe that he can do it based on the last 3 games that he's had. His role seems to be growing in the offense, as well as you go ahead and start Kendall Wright. He's the only guy that I suppose has some consistency to him within that receiving group. And I like him as a low-end wide receiver 3. This is a game that should finish 20-17. The Texans are not out of the playoffs just yet.
The Washington Redskins at the Indianapolis Colts. The Redskins, the big news this week, benching Robert Griffin III in favor of Colt McCoy. I don't know which is bigger news, the fact that they're benching Robert Griffin III or the fact that Colt McCoy is a starter in the NFL again. The Colts have been playing charmed football. Andrew Luck is who everyone said he would be. He is the second coming of football Christ, if you will. That being said, the Redskins defense, not all that bad, kids. 8th overall in defensive passing yards per game, 9th in defensive rushing yards per game. They are the second worst rated pass coverage unit at ProFootballFocus.com, and that doesn't play well for Andrew Luck, I don't believe. I am going to take the Colts at home.
The Colts should just bang up the Redskins in this game, even though I will say this, by starting Colt McCoy, you could see a run-heavy offense in this game, something that might keep the score down. But I just don't see that. I think they're going to have to put forth some sort of a mixed offense for the Redskins. Alfred Morris in this game is a must-start. You've got a Colts team that's given up easily 1 touchdown per game, as well as 100 yards rushing. I'm sure he'll get a few receiving yards in there. Also, you've got to start Deshaun Jackson. He played much better when Colt McCoy was in the offense, as well as Kirk Cousins compared to Robert Griffin III. So look at D-Jax as an WR3. For the Colts, you start Andrew Luck. He's the number 4 scoring offense in the league. You just can never sit him. I like Boom Herron as an low-end RB2 or a flex play this week. T.Y. Hilton must start. And look at that Colts DST as a solid option this week. The Colts keep marching on towards the playoffs, Keith. 27-20.
That's supposed to be the Saints marching on.
I know, but this week I decided I would give the Colts a little holiness since you brought up Jesus and all this.
I said football Christ. I never said Jesus.
Oh, well, excuse me. Since you brought up Christ and all this.
I think a Colt more gallops than marches.
Hey, man, it's all happening in Indiana. It's all good.
Okay. The Giants at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, the Jaguars are 1-10. The Giants are 3-8. Yeah, and guess what? Eli Manning had a decent game. Odell Beckham had the all-time great, amazing catch of since football Christ first walked the earth.
Since I played Nerf football, Keith.
Yeah,
in the playground.
Good. Yeah, pretty good. Not since my toe-dragging catch at SUNY Cortland's flag football intramurals has such a athletic catch been made. That really did happen, by the way.
And there was such a thing as Nerf football. I don't know how many people still know that this day, but anyway.
At the end of the day, the Giants squandered all that to a Cowboys team. The Cowboys are not the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles is learning. There's just not a whole lot of talent outside of Denard Robinson, and he's up and down like an elevator. You might as well call him Otis. Get it? The elevator company there? Otis? Do my own drum fill on that one. There's just not enough in Jacksonville. Their defense is not rated all that high. They can play tough. They usually end up running out of gas in the second half. I'm going to take the Giants on the road and feel comfortable about it.
And Keith, I do too. You hit it on the head about the Jaguars. If their defense comes out and puts forth a strong half of defense, a strong quarter and a half of defense, whatever it is, if the offense can't score, there's nothing they can do to win a football game. And that's why they're the lowest scoring offense in the league, as well as they boast the defense that gives up the most points in the league. That combination, even a team like the Giants can get by that, get through it, win a football game. I like the rush in this game, particularly because both teams combined have given up 22 touchdowns to date, and combined give up almost 300 rushing yards per game. But you're still going to start Eli Manning as a low QB1. He and Odell Beckham should do some damage, and for God's sake, Odell Beckham is a must-start the rest of the season. Don't you dare think about benching him. For the Giants, Rashard Jennings, he is a must-start RB2. Larry Donnell, he is a TE1. And the Giants' defense, if you need a pick up and play, you go get them and start them. They're a high defense this week. If they're not top 5, they're like right there, okay? And for the Jaguars, look at Denard Robinson. He should get back on track. The Giants are giving up 143 rush yards per game and over one rushing touchdown per game. So he's a high RB2. Get him up, get him in. And Cecil Shorts, you can consider him for the wide receiver 3-start. Hopefully, we won't have to. Giants win.
All right, we're at the halfway point, so we are going to take a break here. We are doing really well on time. Really, really well on time. You're listening to the Fantasy Greek Starts and Sits in 60 Minutes on LateNightSportsRadio.com. After the break, we go through the second half and take phone calls, 585-633-7487 if you have lineup questions, 585-633-7487. We'll see you on the other side.
Maybe
Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got a player who's hurt? No problem. Injuries won't derail your shot at victory because it's like a new season every week. So you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes and you could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
The Fantasy Greeks starts and sits in 60 minutes, the Week 13 Fantasy Regular Season Finale show. We are halfway through the program. If you are listening and have lineup questions of your own, 585-633-7487. That's 585-633-7487.
Bon Jovi, it breaks the heart. Breaks the heart.
You know, I found it on a whim, and you know what? Listening to that song, it reminds me of the day that I bought that record. Yes, the LP. If there's any kids listening, they have no idea what I'm talking about right now.
You know, it actually just made me think of this girl from grade school who just absolutely loved and adored him, and I thought she was a sweetheart. So, I thought, oh, Bon Jovi, that must be cool. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I could blow your mind right now with my theory of time travel existing in your mind, fueled by music. That's
okay,
that's for
we'll save
another.
That for a separate show.
That's for another show. Back on the scene, crispy and clean, Carolina Panthers travel to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have played tough in recent weeks. Playing the Bears tough. They've played the Packers tough. And the Panthers, not so much. You know, it's... well, what can you say? Their defense is getting torched left and right. They're in the 20s in ranking for yards per game.